Kirk was having an affair, which is why Charlie Cook took her out of the will. So allegedly, the story is that Erika Kirk was having an affair. Charlie hired a private investigator to kind of follow her.
Erika Kirk has been exposed before for scandals, for chaos, for suspicious ties, for leaked messages. But nothing compares to what just came out now. Because this time, it isn't about forged signatures, shady alliances, donor manipulation, or Tyler Robinson's spiraling downfall. This time, it's about her life, her identity, her truth. A truth nobody, not her followers, not TPUSA, not her closest friends, not even her critics, ever expected. Because explosive new leaks reveal that while Erika was smiling on stages, preaching morality online, and presenting herself as the perfect Christian conservative figure, she was living a secret double life that even people inside TPUSA didn't know about. And the moment this information surfaced, the entire conservative world stopped. Screens froze, chats blew up, OSH group messages exploded, donors panicked, staff members started scrubbing old posts, internal calls were scheduled at 2 a.m. Because what investigators uncovered doesn't just damage Erika's image, it exposes the internal dysfunction and corruption inside TPUSA in a way people can't even wrap their heads around yet. Sources claim Erika was simultaneously working two different roles, reporting to two different power figures, and participating in two conflicting operations inside the organization, all while pretending to be aligned with a single mission. She wasn't just part of the chaos. She was connected to the very core of it. And according to leaked documents that are circulating right now, Erika's double life wasn't accidental. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't miscommunication. It was intentional, deliberate, as calculated. But the question tearing the internet apart is simple. Was Erika the mastermind behind the chaos? Or was she being controlled, groomed, by someone even darker, even more strategic, even more powerful than the advisor exposed in the previous scandals? Because if the documents are real, if the witness testimonies hold up, if the timeline is accurate, then Erika Kirk didn't just fall into TPUSA's internal war. She played both sides of it. And that changes everything. The idea of Erika Kirk living a secret double life sounds outrageous. Until you look closely at the patterns, the subtle inconsistencies, the unexplained absences, the conflicting alliances, the sudden shifts in loyalty, the mysterious messages, and the peculiar way she always seemed to be in the center of TPUSA chaos without ever being fully blamed for anything. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't an influencer caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. This was the result of years of manipulation, grooming, and positioning that started long before any of the scandals the public is familiar with today. Because the truth is this: Erika didn't just join TPUSA. She was drafted. A young, charismatic, well-spoken, faith-driven personality. She was perfect, too perfect, for what internal strategists were building behind the scenes. But TPUSA wasn't just recruiting rising stars. They were building a system, a hierarchy, a chain of influence that required specific types of people placed in very specific roles. And Erika fit one of the most important categories: the face, the smiling surface-level representative, the clean image, the purity shield, the distraction from the darkness beneath. But here's where the story starts to split. Because from the moment Erika entered TPUSA's orbit, she wasn't just reporting to one person like everyone assumed. She was simultaneously feeding information to two different factions within the organization. Faction 1, the public-facing leadership, the ones who controlled messaging, branding, events, and partnerships. Faction 2, the internal shadow cell, the behind-the-scenes strategists who handled donor deals, psychological influence operations, political grooming, and long-term power plays. Most people didn't even know the second faction existed, but Erika did, because someone placed her directly inside it. According to newly leaked internal memos, Erika was quietly assigned to report on which influencers were rising, Which staff members were loyal? Which donors were dissatisfied? Which personalities could be manipulated? Which figures were replaceable? She reported these findings under a confidential tag, EK-track-alpha. But here's the first twist. She didn't know she was being double used. To the public leadership, Erika was a spokesperson in training, a PR-friendly face who they could put in front of crowds, cameras, and new recruits. To the shadow group, she was an operative, a collector of social intelligence, a tracker of personalities, a subtle manipulator of relationships. She was living two careers, two loyalties, two missions, two identities, without ever fully understanding how deeply she was being played. But the deeper Erika went into TPUSA's inner circles, the more contradictions began to appear. Her schedule didn't match her public commitments. Her private conversations contradicted her public statements. Her alliances shifted without explanation. Her presence at secret strategy meetings overlapped with public events she claimed to be planning. Staffers began whispering, "Who is she reporting to? Why does she know things she shouldn't? Why does she disappear before major announcements? Why is she in meetings only directors are allowed in? Why does she always seem nervous?" Because what nobody understood, not at the time, was that Erika wasn't just juggling two roles, and she was trapped between them. One side wanted her to be a rising personality. The other wanted her to be a weapon. And the moment she tried to leave one faction, the other tightened their grip. But the true origin of Erika's double life started years earlier, long before she became a public figure, when she crossed paths with a strategist who saw potential in her. A name investigators are now referring to as the Builder. Different from the mastermind behind Project Ascension. Different from the advisor who manipulated Erika and Tyler. The Builder was older, more calculating, more strategic, more patient. If the mastermind controlled crises, the Builder controlled trajectories. And according to leaked emails, he identified Erika long before TPUSA ever did. He watched her early social posts, tracked her engagement, and noted her charisma, calculated her psychological profile, and he marked her as high-value long-term asset. So when she finally entered the TPUSA environment, it wasn't accidental, it wasn't spontaneous, it wasn't self-driven. It was the execution of a plan years in the making. The Builder placed her in front of the right people. He introduced her to the right donors. He recommended her for the right panels. He curated her image. He shaped her voice. He encouraged her persona. But here's where the story takes its darkest turn. He also fed her into Project Ascension. Not because she was perfect for it, because she was necessary for it. Project Ascension required three key components: a charismatic public figure, a psychologically pliable tactical personality, a controlling strategist operating behind the scenes. Erika was the charismatic figure. Tyler was the tactical personality. The project advisor was the controlling force. But the Builder, the man who discovered Erika, wasn't part of the Ascension plan. In fact, he opposed it. Internal messages reveal heated arguments. "You are misusing EK. She is not an expendable asset. You are triggering instability that will destroy her. She is not built for a controlled collapse." But the mastermind behind Project Ascension ignored him. He wanted Erika fractured. The Builder wanted her protected. So Erika wasn't living a double life because she was deceptive, and she was living a double life because two powerful forces inside TPUSA were fighting over her. And she was the rope in their tug of war. The Builder's faction wanted to elevate her. The advisor's faction wanted to use her. This explains everything. Why she was always overwhelmed. Why she always looked pressured. Why she made contradictory decisions. Why she clung to some people and avoided others. Why she acted confused during scandals. She wasn't confused. She was being torn apart. The Builder gave her protection. The advisor gave her fear. Public leadership gave her exposure. Shadow leadership gave her danger, and Erika tried, desperately, to meet everyone's expectations without understanding that these forces were battling behind her back. But the double life didn't fully explode until her involvement with Tyler. Like once the Ascension project started falling apart, once Tyler began spiraling, once the advisor triggered fracture protocol, once leaks started targeting Erika, the builder stepped in, not to save her reputation, but to save her life. Because his faction uncovered something terrifying. The advisor planned to remove Erika entirely once she became a liability. Not remove her from the organization, remove her from the industry, from the public eye, from all future influence. He planned a full collapse. And the builder knew it. That's when Erika's double life was fully exposed. Not to the public, but to her. She discovered she wasn't a rising figure. She was a pawn in a war between two men she barely even understood. Her breakdown suddenly made sense. Her sudden disappearances made sense. Her panic behind the scenes made sense. Her desperate attempts to cut ties made sense. She wasn't acting erratic. She was trying to escape. But the final revelation, the one that shocked even investigators, came when the builder admitted something chilling. Erika had been part of two internal operations without ever consenting to either. To one side, she was a messenger. To the other, she was bait. And now, both sides want to silence her. Erika Kirk's double life didn't just place her at the center of two different TPUSA factions. It placed her on a collision course with the one truth she never wanted anyone to uncover. The real reason she stayed silent, compliant, and loyal to both sides, even when they were destroying her. For months, people assumed Erika was naive, that she didn't know better, that she was lost inside political chaos she couldn't understand. But newly leaked files reveal something entirely different, something explosive. Erika did know. Not everything, not the full scale, not the grooming mechanisms or the collapse strategies. But she knew enough. Enough to know she couldn't leave. Enough to know she couldn't pick a side. Enough to know the wrong decision could completely ruin her life. Because Erika wasn't just carrying secrets for the factions. She was carrying a secret about herself. A secret that connected her to the advisor, to the builder, to Tyler, to Project Ascension, and to the very core of the TPUSA chaos. And this secret, this one hidden truth, is the first major twist of her double life. Erika wasn't the only one living two identities. She was covering for someone else's second life, someone whose exposure would destroy everything. Here's how the entire conflict detonated. During the early months of her recruitment, Erika formed a private bond, not with the advisor or the builder, but with someone else entirely. Someone inside TPUSA leadership, someone powerful, someone deeply connected to both factions, someone who had access to information neither side wanted exposed. This individual, whose identity investigators are keeping sealed for now, confided in Erika, trusted her, used her, and ultimately dragged her into a web that she could not escape without burning down the entire organization. Internal witnesses describe Erika and this individual as unusually close. Encrypted messages between them have been partially recovered. And the tone? It wasn't professional. It wasn't political. It wasn't even strategic. It was personal. And this individual shared confidential documents with Erika. Documents she should have never been allowed to see. They pulled her into meetings her position didn't justify. They gave her warnings no other junior figure received. They sent her instructions that bypassed both factions entirely. Erika's secret role, the one she hid from everyone, wasn't actually about reporting. It was about he protecting them. This is the twist nobody expected. Because if Erika's double life was a prison, then this person was the one holding the keys. The conflict began the moment the advisor's faction noticed Erika's unusual pattern. She would obey orders one moment and ignore instructions the next. She appeared terrified of some people and strangely loyal to others. She played the public spokesperson role well, but defied certain internal operations. Why? Because she wasn't protecting herself. She was protecting someone much higher than her. This individual had two distinct lives inside TPUSA. Their public face, polished, respected, admired. Their hidden role, controlling narratives from behind the scenes. They weren't part of Project Ascension. They weren't part of the Builders faction. They were operating between the factions, playing both sides. And Erika? She became the shield that kept their double life hidden. Whenever a suspicious memo surfaced, Erika was blamed. Whenever communication logs didn't add up, Erika took the fall. Whenever Project Ascension malfunctioned, Erika became the scapegoat. She took hits meant for them. Night staffers noticed. She always covered for him. She always redirected blame. She was terrified of disappointing him. She lied for him more than she lied for TPUSA. And that's when rumors started internally. Erika is in over her head. She's hiding something for someone big. She has leverage we don't know about. She's protecting the wrong person. But the truth was more complicated. Erika wasn't protecting this person out of loyalty. She wasn't protecting them because she believed in them. She wasn't protecting them because she was manipulated. She was protecting them because they had something on her. A secret she couldn't afford to expose. Something from her past. Something personal. Something she never wanted the public or TPUSA to know. Investigators believe this is why Erika entered the organization so quietly. Why she accepted mentorship so quickly. Why she complied with two different factions. Why she didn't run when she clearly wanted to. If she left, he would expose her. If she rebelled, he would destroy her. If she told anyone, nobody would believe her. So she played both roles because she had no choice. But here's where the conflict ignited into an all-out war. Tyler found out. Not at first. Not when Project Ascension began. Not when the advisor paired them. Tyler found out late, during the collapse phase, when he was spiraling, panicking, and desperately searching through old files to assemble leverage. He discovered the encrypted messages, the private meetings, the confidential memos, the connections Erika never disclosed. And he confronted her. Mara leaked voice memo recovered from his phone recorded the exact moment. You're not scared of him for no reason. What does he have on you? Why are you hiding his involvement? Why are you taking the blame for what he orchestrated? Erika didn't deny it. She didn't lie. She didn't even defend herself. She simply said, "You don't understand. If this comes out, everything ends." This is the moment that destroyed their alliance forever. Tyler felt betrayed. He felt used. He felt Erika had chosen to protect someone who was the true architect of their suffering. He exploded. You're protecting the man who ruined us? The man who used us? The man who set us up? People assumed Tyler turned on Erika because he was unstable, because of jealousy, because of manipulation. But in reality, he turned on her because she was covering for the one person who he believed should have been exposed. And the advisor, sensing Tyler was close to uncovering the truth, triggered the fracture protocol. Tyler was pushed out. Erika was left exposed. Their implosion became public. The scandals detonated. The factions waged war. But Erika still kept the secret, even when being investigated, even when being smeared, even when losing everything. She protected him. Because if the truth came out, it wouldn't just burn TPUSA to the ground. It would burn Erika with it. But here's the first major twist. Investigators now believe that the resurfaced photo wasn't just bait to trigger Phase 3. It was a signal sent to Erika. A message saying, "Your secret is next." The chaos surrounding Erika Kirk had reached a breaking point, and the factions were exposed. Project Ascension was exposed. The Builders' resistance was exposed. Tyler's collapse was exposed. But the one thing investigators still couldn't crack, the thing Erika refused to speak about, was the identity of the man whose secret she protected with her entire career. That man wasn't just a piece on the board. He was the architect of the board. The man Erika shielded wasn't the advisor. He wasn't the builder. He wasn't a strategist in the shadows. He was above them. Someone whose power stretched beyond TPUSA. Someone who controlled narratives, donor networks, strategic direction, and internal loyalty. Someone who could ruin reputations with a single phone call, or resurrect them. And the moment investigators began unraveling encrypted files tied to Erika's private communications, the truth started to surface. She had been protecting a senior TPUSA figure with enough influence to override both factions. A figure who operated behind the scenes while letting younger operatives, Erika, Tyler, the advisor, the builder, fight his battles on the front lines. A figure known quietly within the organization by a chilling internal nickname, the Warden. And the name wasn't random. He controlled people. He controlled narratives. He controlled outcomes. He controlled them. The Warden wasn't the mastermind of Project Ascension. He was the supervisor, overseeing everything, approving nothing officially, but influencing everything unofficially. Multiple internal messages confirmed it. W asks for updates. W wants her on that project. W says EK stays silent. W approved the pairing test. W believes TR can be weaponized. W wants Erika in the next phase. The advisor created the program. The builder scouted the talent. But the Warden decided the fates. The escalation began the moment investigators connected Erika's encrypted messages to a time window where the Warden personally traveled to the donor retreat. The same retreat where Erika and Tyler's resurfaced photo was taken. He wasn't listed on the guest sheets. He wasn't supposed to be present. He didn't appear in any official event footage. But a security camera captured him passing through the private cabin corridor where Erika and Tyler were photographed together. And that's when the timeline cracked open. And the Warden wasn't just near Erika. He coordinated with her. Minutes before that photo was taken, Erika received a message. Move outside. Avoid group. Minutes after the photo was taken, Tyler received, stay aligned. Do not question placement. To investigators, this meant one thing. The Warden was overseeing the pairing moment. But why? Why involve himself directly? Why guide Erika step by step? Why give personal instructions to Tyler? The answer came from a massive data leak. 113 private chat logs between the advisor's office and internal TPUSA leadership. Inside those messages was one horrifying sentence. EK is Warden's primary long-term asset. Handle with extreme caution. That line changed everything. Erika wasn't merely a spokesperson or a pawn. She was the Warden's chosen instrument, hand-selected, protected, monitored, controlled. And that explains why both factions wanted her. She was the one person who could tip internal power. If the advisor controlled Erika, he'd own the public-facing influence pipeline. If the builder controlled Erika, he'd own the narrative-shaping infrastructure. But if the Warden controlled Erika, he owned TPUSA's future. And according to the leaked messages, he did. Now investigators understood why Erika lived a double life. She wasn't in two factions. She was in three. Public-facing leadership, shadow faction Ascension, and the Warden's private command. Each giving her orders, each expecting loyalty, each threatening consequences. But only one had the power to destroy her personally. The Warden. Now the shocking reveal. The Warden didn't just protect Erika. He didn't just groom her. He didn't just elevate her. He compromised her. Investigators uncovered a personal file on his secured server labeled EK-Anchor-File. When decrypted, the contents revealed the secret Erika had been hiding. The one that forced her to obey him, the one she couldn't let Tyler discover, the one that made her desperation finally make sense. A past incident, a mistake, a personal vulnerability, one that the warden documented meticulously. One he used to keep Erika under his control. Screenshots, messages, recordings, photos, and a signed NDA that Erika never told anyone about. The warden owned her freedom. That's why she couldn't leave TPUSA. That's why she obeyed both factions. That's why she protected him with everything she had, even while her own life imploded. Because he wasn't threatening her career, but he was threatening her future. But the reveal goes deeper. The warden wasn't just using Erika as a silent asset. He needed her because she was connected to someone else, a political donor's family. Private communications show he planned to use Erika to influence campaign contributions, faith-based endorsements, younger voters, internal alliances, and strategic partnerships. She wasn't just an influencer. She was a bridge between political money and political messaging. But then Project Ascension spiraled out of control. Tyler began acting unpredictably. The advisor triggered fracture. The builder attempted rescue. Erika became unstable. The warden panicked, and the collapse began. The shocking reveal is this. The warden wasn't trying to protect Erika from Project Ascension. He was trying to protect himself from her. Not if Erika ever exposed their connection. If the public ever discovered he controlled her. If investigators accessed the anchor file, his career, his reputation, his influence, his political alliances, and TPUSA itself would collapse overnight. So when Tyler began digging, when the public began questioning Erika's loyalty, when journalists began tracing her double assignments, the warden saw only one solution: eliminate Erika from the narrative. Not physically, reputationally, strategically, quietly. Erase her credibility, destroy her alliances, make her look unstable. And once Erika looked unreliable, everything she knew, everything she could expose, would be dismissed as panic or confusion. This is why. Leaks hit her first. Smears targeted her image. Fake signatures were pinned on her. Anonymous tips accused her of manipulation. They weren't trying to destroy Erika's career. They were trying to destroy her voice. Because a silent Erika equals a safe warden. But now that the documents are out, now that investigators have traced encrypted calls, now that TPUSA insiders are admitting things, the warden's identity is dangerously close to being revealed. And that's when the final twist hit. Minutes after investigators connected him to Erika, Erika received a new message. Same handwriting, same untraceable envelope, same cold intention. It said, "You were never supposed to remember the beginning." Which means the warden isn't just trying to silence Erika now. He's been manipulating her memory of their partnership from the very start. And the moment the leaks connected Erika Kirk to a mysterious internal figure known only as the warden, the entire internet didn't just react, it erupted. Because until now, the story had been dramatic, chaotic, and scandalous. But manageable. A corrupt advisor? Believable? A manipulative strategist? Expected. Internal factions warring for control? Classic political drama. But a third invisible power player? A man above the factions? A man who controlled Erika's fate from day one? A man who kept an anchor file on her to trap her in silence? The revelation hit like a nuclear blast. Within hours, Twitter became a battlefield. Creators tweeted, "Who is the warden? Why does TPUSA have these shadow leaders? This is scary." OMG, Erika wasn't lying. She wasn't unstable. She was controlled. This man was blackmailing her. This is so much darker than we thought. And then the hashtag began trending worldwide. Hashtag #WhoIsTheWardenPeople started analyzing old TPUSA footage, comparing leadership timelines, cross-referencing travel logs, in and reviewing archived live streams for any hint of a senior figure who seemed just outside the frame. Creators on TikTok launched deep dive investigations. Look at this angle. He's standing behind the camera crew. He's always present at major events, but never speaks. This blurred man in the background fits the timeline. This is the one Erika kept looking at during her speeches. Someone stitched clips of Erika visibly tensing whenever a certain unnamed figure entered a room, and the comments exploded. She looks terrified of him. This isn't mentorship. This is control. The warden was right there manipulating her in public. But the biggest shock came when screenshots of Erika's anchor file leaked. The contents weren't fully visible. Names and details were redacted. But the structure alone proved the file was real. It included psychological notes, behavioral triggers, professional weaknesses, personal vulnerabilities, images marking compromise risks, voice recording summaries, encrypted message logs. The internet lost its mind. That is not a mentorship file. That is psychological imprisonment. They used her the same way intelligence agencies groom assets. TPUSA has blackmail files? This is next-level corruption. Political analysts weighed in next. One tweeted, "In 20 years of consulting, I've never seen a youth organization run an internal structure this sinister." Another said, "The warden, if identified, will become the most controversial figure in conservative politics." And then came the panic. TPUSA donors, parents, and partners started demanding answers. One donor's statement leaked. "I am discontinuing all funding until your organization explains why a blackmail-based leadership model was tolerated." A parent wrote, "You promised mentorship. You gave psychological control and manipulation." A major conservative commentator said, "This is beyond scandal. This is dangerous." Meanwhile, inside TPUSA, staff chat logs leaked, and the desperation was palpable. Messages read, "Shut down internal access now. Erase any reference to W. Someone scrubbed the mentorship server. PR says do not mention Erika until further notice." The internal panic exposed everything the public needed to know. The warden was real. Leadership knew about him, and they were terrified of him being exposed. But then came the industry-wide reaction, the biggest shockwave of all. Multiple political organizations, colleges, influencer networks, and nonprofits started distancing themselves from TPUSA. This goes beyond a personnel issue. This reflects systemic failure. We cannot partner with an organization hiding shadow leadership structures. Our young members' safety comes first. Faith leaders who once celebrated Erika as a rising voice now expressed heartbreak. That girl was controlled. That girl was silenced. That girl was emotionally manipulated. Support for Erika skyrocketed. People who once dragged her now apologized. Comments flooded in. She wasn't chaotic, she was surviving. She wasn't messy, she was trapped. She wasn't lying, she was protecting herself. And the fact she still won't expose him, that tells you how powerful he is. But not everyone reacted with sympathy. On some insisted, she still participated in the system. She still hurt people. She still lied. She still protected the wrong man. The debate turned fierce. Is Erika a victim? A survivor? A collaborator? A pawn? A prisoner? One viral video captured the sentiment perfectly. Erika Kirk is not innocent, but she was never in control. She was fighting for her life in a system run by men who would rather destroy her than let her speak. Then, just when the public thought the reaction had peaked, a new leak dropped. A flight manifest placing the warden and Erika together on a private jet 2 weeks before Project Ascension began. No public explanation, no official documentation, no social posts, just their names. Same flight, same destination, same donor event. But that leak was enough to convince even the skeptics. The warden wasn't just a supervisor. He was intimately involved in Erika's placement, her assignments, and her entire trajectory. Influencers demanded answers. Where is he now? Why isn't he speaking? Why isn't TPUSA addressing this? Why is Erika still silent? And that's when the public received the most chilling reaction of all. An anonymous insider posted, "You think you've seen everything? You haven't. The warden didn't just control Erika. He controlled 3 others, and one of them is ready to talk." The world froze. Who were the others? How deep did the warden's operation go? And why was one suddenly willing to expose him now? People begged for names. Creators began countdown live streams. Journalists contacted TPUSA for statements. Conservative forums shut down entire threads to avoid legal issues. Because the warden isn't just a scandal. He's a threat to TPUSA, a threat to rising conservatives, a threat to anyone who knew too much. And now, he's a threat to Erika, because someone from his inner circle is preparing to betray him. The public was in chaos, TPUSA was in free fall, and the warden, this invisible puppeteer who'd been controlling Erika's fate from the shadows, had finally become the target of national outrage. But while the internet was dissecting leaked files, zooming into blurry screenshots, and trying to match silhouettes to faces, investigators were quietly moving, because the anonymous message wasn't a bluff. The warden didn't just manipulate Erika. He didn't just entangle Tyler. He didn't just oversee Project Ascension. He had other assets, other victims, other controlled personalities living double lives they didn't even fully understand. But one of them had finally reached their breaking point. This whistleblower wasn't messy like Tyler, wasn't emotional like Erika, wasn't frantic or unstable. They were precise, calm, extremely careful. And when investigators traced activity from an encrypted dead drop account, they discovered something chilling. The whistleblower wasn't reaching out because they wanted to expose the warden. They were reaching out because the warden had just tried to silence them. The first message investigators decrypted simply read, "He activated the failsafe protocol." Failsafe, a term only seen once before, buried deep inside an older TPUSA operational manual long erased from public archives. A term rumored to refer to a brutal internal practice. When an asset becomes inconvenient, when an asset gains too much autonomy, when an asset remembers too much, the warden triggers failsafe, meaning destroy the asset, erase their influence, discredit their image, break their internal connections, cut them out before they can speak. It explained everything about Erika's collapse. But the whistleblower claimed it was happening again, right now. And this time, the target wasn't Erika. It was someone the world would never have suspected. A rising TPUSA figure, loved, trusted, presented as untouchable. Someone who always seemed to know the right people, the right timing, the right language to please donors and leadership alike. Someone who seemed unproblematic and stable while chaos erupted around them. And someone Erika had once called, "my safest person here." Investigators haven't released the name, not yet, but they confirmed the whistleblower provided travel logs, mentorship schedules, encrypted message threads, voice recordings, event assignments, and a partial copy of their own anchor file. Meaning this second victim wasn't speculating. They had proof. And the proof matched perfectly with Erika's experience. Conflicting assignments, double instructions, sudden isolation, sudden promotions followed by unexplained demotions, commands delivered directly from the warden, threats disguised as career guidance, internal warnings. He is watching, do not deviate. The warden had been using them too. But here's the twist that sent investigators into panic. The second victim claimed Erika didn't just know them, and she helped protect them. Because Erika wasn't just shielding her own secret, She was shielding their secret too. And this whistleblower added a final chilling line. She tried to protect me, but now he wants us both erased. Minutes after that message was delivered, Erika received something of her own. Another envelope. Same handwriting, same untraceable style, same ominous energy as the earlier ones. Inside was a single Polaroid. Not of her, not of Tyler, but of the second victim. The person she once called family inside TPUSA, standing in a hallway, leaning against a door, completely unaware they were being watched. Written across the bottom in thick black ink, "You know what comes next." Erika collapsed when she saw it, because she knew exactly what the message meant. It wasn't just a threat. It wasn't just a warning. It was the activation signal. Failsafe protocol wasn't coming. It had started. The warden wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't denying. He was retaliating. And the second victim? They were missing within 48 hours. No public statement. No social media activity. No internal acknowledgements from TPUSA. Their name was quietly removed from an upcoming event. Their profile page was edited. Their responsibilities reassigned. It was as if they had been erased. But the last message investigators received before their disappearance was the real cliffhanger. A voice memo, only 6 seconds long. "You think he only had 2 of us, but there were 4. 4 assets, 4 controlled operatives, 4 young figures trapped inside the warden's psychological web. Erika was the first to collapse. Tyler was the second to break, and the whistleblower was the third. But the fourth? Still unknown, still active, still serving the warden's agenda, still moving silently through TPUSA networks, still pretending to be innocent. And if the fourth asset is still loyal, still controlled, still executing commands, then the warden isn't losing power. He's replacing it." Erika's hands were shaking when investigators told her the truth. One of the people she still trusts, one she speaks to, one she confides in, one she believes is safe, might be the fourth asset. And the episode ends on the most terrifying line yet. The warden doesn't need to silence Erika, if the fourth asset can destroy her instead. And now we're standing in the middle of something no one, not Erika, not Tyler, not the whistleblower, not even the investigators, ever expected. A secret leader exposed. A second victim vanished. A fourth hidden asset still operating inside TPUSA. A retaliation plan already in motion. And Erika Kirk caught in a tightening noose she didn't create, but may not escape. Everything we thought we knew has been shattered. Erika wasn't dramatic. She wasn't chaotic. She wasn't reckless. She was hunted. And now the biggest question of this entire investigation falls directly into your hands. Yes, you watching this right now. Who do you think the fourth asset is? Is it someone Erika still trusts? A person she calls friend? A fellow influencer? A rising star inside TPUSA? A quiet strategist who always stood near the action but never in it? Drop a comment right now and name the person you suspect, because investigators believe the fourth asset is the key to everything. Identifying them could expose the warden completely, or put Erika in even more danger. And tell me this, do you think Erika should finally reveal what the warden has on her? Should she break her silence even if it means destroying herself to destroy him? Or do you think the truth is too dangerous for her to survive? And what about the whistleblower? The second victim? Do you think they're in hiding? In danger? Or being silenced right now as Phase 3 escalates? Before you go, make sure you smash that like button, because the more engagement this gets, the harder it becomes for anyone to bury this story. Hit subscribe so you're here when the identity of the fourth asset drops. And trust me, that reveal is going to shake TPUSA to its foundation. Turn on notifications, because the next leak, the next encrypted message, The next whistleblower confession could arrive at any second. And when it does, you're going to want to hear it first. This isn't the end. This isn't the peak. This isn't even the real war. This was just the setup. Because once the fourth asset is exposed, the warden will have nothing left to hide behind. And that is when everything gets truly dangerous. Stay alert, stay loud, stay ready. The next chapter is coming, and it's going to be the most explosive one yet.